Thank you guys all for joining me. Tom, thanks for inviting me back. My name is Dan DeMott. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to give you a quick background. I'm a real estate coach and consultant. I was a real estate agent for a number of years, built a large team that ended up doing over 128 transactions, over $1 million of GCI for a couple years. And then I transitioned into the broker space. So what I found was I loved helping the agents on my team even more than I liked helping consumers buy or sell houses. So I took over running a brokerage down here in South Florida. It was a failing franchise. And I figured out how to teach and coach and recruit agents. So over 2.5 years, I recruited over 330 agents to join our brokerage, and I coached and consulted with them and did really, really well. And then I found that again, I love training, I love coaching, I loved helping agents, but I had two challenges. One, the franchise model that I was a part of at that time had a lot of restrictions on it. Right, it was a brick and mortar business, and there was territories and all these rules. And I said, you know what? I've got people from all over the country reaching out to me for help, and I want to be able to help them. I don't want to constrain myself. And the second problem I had was I got tired of teaching things to agents and then seeing them fail to execute those strategies. So I would travel around the country. I would go spend a day in a city with a bunch of real estate agents all day teaching them how to do something. They'd all go, yes, I'm going to go implement that. And then I'd go back and follow up a couple of months later and I go, how's it going? And they'd say, I didn't do it. Right. And you can only do that so many times in so many rooms before you realize it's not the agents, it's something you're saying or doing that isn't translating, right? So I had this crisis moment and said, I've got to figure out how to really help agents get these things that we know help people when they execute them and get them done. So because of that, I stepped out of running that brokerage and formed my own independent coaching business, which I've now been doing coming up on 3 years. And we've had a lot of success. I'm proud to say, one, I do help people all over the country. And two, we have a really, really high execution rate. So we're going to get into a little bit of the theory of that today. But before I do that, I wanted to share a little exercise I just took all of my agents through, which has to do with the mid-quarter review. So if you don't know, February 15th sort of marked the midway point for the first quarter, right? And this mid-quarter review is something I'm really, really passionate about, especially in Q1, because of this reason. Let's say you set a goal to sell 12 houses this year, right? That if we spread those evenly across the year, that would mean you need to close one per month. You would need to be on track to close 3 by the end of March, right? Now we're sitting at February 20th, which would mean you have either closed 1, 2, or 3 so far. You've closed some and have some pending to close before the end of March, or you have not, right? And the reason I became really passionate about this February check-in was what I found was a lot of people right now find themselves in a situation where they say, you know what, Dan, I was supposed to get 3, and then I got a little bit of a late start coming into January, and then, I haven't got as much traction as I wanted. The market's a little bit tough out there, and I still need to get 3 to be on track, right? And the reason I become so passionate about doing this exercise right now is helping you find 3 now, I can do, right? You can find 3 deals that will close between now and the end of March, plus or minus, and stay on track if your goal was 12 for the year. If we get to mid-May and you're now behind 6, it becomes a lot harder for me to help you, right? And if we get to the third quarter and now you're behind 9 and we're trying to find 9 or more in the last 3 months of the year, it becomes really hard, right? So this is one of the things I've identified for a lot of agents is this compound effect of being behind where they want to be. Now, you guys have probably a little bit more seasonality up in your market. So you might say, you know what, Dan, it's a little normal to be here at this time of the year. But I would still say There's a lot of benefit to getting really intentional and making sure we're looking at the pipeline and getting clear on that. So I'm going to do just a couple slides from this presentation with that setup, and I think they'll help you guys orient. And then we're going to go deep into 3 ways to solve any problems you identify here. So here, this is the mid-month review. The first question to ask yourself, there's 3 questions here. The first question to ask yourself is, what's working, right? So if you've been in the business from the beginning of the year and you've been doing some things, maybe you've got some leads, maybe you closed a couple deals, where are you having success in your business? You don't need to share that, but I'd make a note of it. You might say, you know what, I've been really good so far this year about working my database, or I've gotten my email out really consistently, or you know what, I've been messing around with social media and I've gotten a couple conversations started. So take stock of what's working for you so far. That's question number 1. Question number 2 is talking about where are we raising the bar. So this comes from this whole conversation actually comes from a coach of mine, Dr. Ben Hardy, who wrote a great book, 10x is easier than 2x, if you're looking for a good book to read. But he asked this question to a number of us and our group, and he said, the way he asked this question was, is it obvious to someone else that you're raising the bar in your business this year? So if you set a goal for yourself, and I thought that was a really powerful phrasing. We all say, like, I've got a goal, I'm going to push myself, I'm going to move forward with my business. The way he said it was, would it be obvious to someone else that you're committed to raising the bar? I think that's a really interesting question to ask. So sort of the flip side is, where's our opportunity for improvement, right? Are we pushing ourselves as hard as we'd like to say we are? This one I've inserted here is talking about those numbers and getting realistic. I want you all to take a second and think about, probably at the end of the year, you did some business planning, right? And you set some goals for yourself. What was your goal for this year? How many do you have pending so far or closed? And what's our gap? Right? And I'd love if anybody is up for it, for you to throw in the chat, what's your goal for this? Any of those you'd like to share? What's your goal for this year? Or, what's your gap? How many do we need to get done to get on track? You want to throw those in the chat. It's always more fun if you can engage. Of course, if you're driving, please drive carefully. Don't chat me in if you're driving. But what's your goal for this year? What's your goal for the quarter? Chris said 4 million this year. Love that. Right? Here's where I want you to dig in on your numbers. Chris, I'm gonna push you to not only have a volume number, but also tie some units to that, right? So 4 million, what does that look like? How many buyers, how many sellers? If you get some clarity there, the next part of this exercise will be a little bit easier, right? And if you don't know the answer to this, after this call, it would be a great time to set out a goal. Miguel, 18 buyers, love that. That's a great goal. If you don't have your goal yet for the year, pick a number, write it down, have a call with Tom. He'd love to walk you through a little business planning and find some ways you guys can work together. But pick your number so you know it, because you're going to need that for this next part of the exercise. Because the next part is, what is our opportunity for improvement? Where can you improve before the end of March to close any gaps we have? Now, I created this little wheel here because generally, if you're in the real estate business, your areas of improvement are in one of these 4 things. You either need to generate more leads, meaning you need to have new conversations coming in, right? You need to work on your marketing, right? Which is, are we making sure that the people who already know us know that we're in real estate and they're sending us referrals? You might need to work on your conversion, right? So you may have a lot of leads and a lot of conversations happening, but we're not getting people into contracts. We can talk about that. And then the last one is time management. Almost everyone has this one as an opportunity for growth, right? But if you can, drop in the chat, which one do you think is the biggest opportunity for growth in your business? Do you need more leads? Do you need better marketing? Do you need to work on converting the conversations you already have, or you need better time management?
Converting.
Converting, sure. We're gonna talk a little bit about
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry, time management. That's time management.
Yeah, everyone's time management. I love that. Bella, I just saw your goal. Love your goal. I love the clarification there. 24 transactions, 7 sellers, 14 buyers. Great clarity, right? That's going to really set you up. So here's the 3 steps. Once you have an idea on your goal and you have some idea of which area of opportunity you have to improve, here's where I really want you to focus right now. And this is going into that focus of how do we get on track by the end of Q1? Because if I gave you enough time, we could all list a dozen or more things we could improve on, right? We're all trying to work on our time management and our social media and our marketing and our database and CRM and a website. And I watched this YouTube video about this lead generation and I want to try that. We all have these ideas. The key right now is how can we get clarity for you on what you need to do between now and March 1st? Because a lot of those ideas we can't spend time on now, right? It's a prioritization issue, right? So step number 1 here is refining your target. I would love everybody had the clarity that Bella has, right? 24 transactions, 7 from sellers, 14 from buyers. Here's why I love that when it comes to refining your target. We can allocate Bella's time and resources accordingly, right? So if Bella said to me, Dan, what should I be working on? I would say we should be working on buyer lead generation 2-to-1 compared to sellers, right? Because your goal is twice as many buyers as sellers in this year, right? Now we have some benchmarks here and some clarity around this. And you don't have to follow that. I have clients who say, I hate working with buyers. I want all sellers, right? I have people who are on the other side who are like, I absolutely love buyers and give me all the buyers. And with those people, again, it's, well, if you want sellers, right? And you have an option between working expireds or hosting an open house, what should you do? Right? You should work expireds because open houses generate buyer leads. Your goal is to not have buyers. So we want to have that alignment of interest, right? And that's where you can refine your target. If you identified conversion as an opportunity for you, and again, I highlight this as one because everyone has this as a big opportunity. I want you to get really intentional about defining 3 categories of leads, right? So if you have a list of people who've reached out to you, responded to something you did, leads that came in from online or wherever, right? Most agents I work with end up lacking clear definitions to prioritize those leads and help them convert. So here's what that looks like. I use A, B, and C. The easiest is to go to the 2 extremes. A leads, right? Let's say an A buyer is ready, willing, and able to purchase. They've already talked to Tom. They already have a pre-approval, right? They know exactly what they would like to buy. They would like to do it soon. And they've committed to working with you and signed a buyer representation agreement. That's the A standard, right? This is money in the bank. You just got to find this person a house and write the contract, right? C is the flip side. C is this person raised their hand. They sent me a message on social media. They replied to one of my emails. I saw them at a party and they said, oh, we're thinking about doing something, right? So we know there's potential there. However, we don't know if they're serious. We don't know if they're able. They have not signed anything to be committed to working with us. We might not necessarily even know what they want to buy, right? Essentially, all leads start there, right? And then B is where it becomes really interesting. Because B, you have a little bit of flexibility to define. Everyone should write their own definition. But to me, you're more or less going to find a B lead to be someone who's um, ready and able, right? But maybe we lack clarity on exactly what they want. Maybe their timeline is further out, right? Maybe they're a 6 month, right? Because they're waiting for their lease to run out or something like that. Maybe they have some type of other condition, like, well, I want to buy, but only after I sell my house, right? Um, and they've not yet committed to working with us. So generally, if you've got a lot of people and if you've got a lead list somewhere, whether you keep it as a note in your phone or you keep a spreadsheet or you keep it in your CRM, most people have a lot of names on a list somewhere they call their lead sheet. When I take agents through this exercise, what most of them find is they have very few A's, right? They have a lot of C's, right? And a decent number of B's, right? But they've never figured out what to do with them. And so if you go through this exercise, this is where I can really help you get deals done. If you've got some leads, look at the ones that you put in the B category, and I want you to be able to answer the question, what can I do to turn this person into an A? Right? Because those are the leads most likely to move forward. So you might say, as an example, I've got someone who met with Tom, they got pre-approved, they're committed to working with me, but they want a house that's in a specific neighborhood with specific criteria, and we haven't found it yet, right? So what's required to get that person to be an A is a specific kind of property, right? What I love about that is that's an actionable item, right? Now I can send letters to people who own houses like that. I could go door knocking. I could make phone calls to people who own those houses and see if they're considering selling. I can get in the game of trying to convert them, right? You might also find some of those B leads you've just lacked having a conversation with. You've never sat down and have an intentional conversation about working together, exactly what their criteria is. Maybe they're ready, willing, and able, but we've just never done a formal buyer consultation, right? So B leads end up being a great opportunity for you, right? Once you've identified those, right, the last step is the time management component, right? Which is if you're coaching with me and we're sitting at March 20th and you say, Dan, I'm behind my goal, and we know what your target is. We know that you need to get 2 more buyers before March 31st in contract. And we know what are your A leads, what are your B leads, and what are your C leads, right? I'm going to force you to commit to only doing things that will get 2 more buyers in contract, right? So what I love about this exercise is it makes a bunch of things go away, right? It is a exercise of removal. Working on your website, gone, right? Posting social media, if you've never gotten a lead from social media, off the table, right? If you want 2 more buyers, we're not going to call FISBOs this week, right? Because we need 2 buyers. It becomes really crystal clear if you go through this exercise of exactly what you need to do. And then ultimately, where I'm always trying to get everyone as a coach is into a corner where you know exactly what you need to do and you either will do it or not do it. The last part I can't do for you, right? Um, but if you have the clarity on those things, you're in position to close any gap you have before the end of this quarter. That makes sense? Any thoughts or questions on going through that process in your business? Madison, what I'm going to say for you, since you volunteered at the beginning and since you're brand new, you're the perfect case for this, right? The new agents, I love my new agents, but are the biggest victims of working on everything except for what's important in our business. So you're in a great position because you're here today and you're going to hear this directly. The only thing you should work on as a brand new agent is talking to as many people as possible about real estate until you get someone who wants to either sell their house or go look at houses to buy. Okay? Nothing else that isn't talking to someone, showing them a house, or meeting with them to talk about the listing hits this list until you get your first deal done. After you close your first deal, we'll have all kinds of time to work on setting up your CRM and website and training and education and learning the contracts and all these things. The most important thing is finding someone who wants to sell or who wants to buy a house. The great thing, and thank you for volunteering to be picked on a little bit. The great thing is that also happens to be the same thing for all these pros who are on here too, right? All the people who've been in the business a long time also end up having to just get down to talking to more people. All right. So I'm glad you guys liked that. I want to go a little bit deeper with the rest of our time. Can I dig a little bit deeper on some lead generation strategies and give you guys some free stuff? Would that be okay? Good use of time? Cool. All right, let me get this here. All right, let me screen share. Here we go. All right. So I told you guys before that I became a trainer and found myself in this situation, which was I was giving all this amazing knowledge to agents. They were all fired up to go do it, and then they would not execute. I told you guys that story in the beginning. It sort of catches us up to where we are in this presentation. The problem is lack of execution, not lack of knowledge. Our industry tries to solve for knowledge gaps, right? It's why there's such an emphasis on training. It's why there's so many YouTube videos you can go to, right? It's why there's so many coaches and coaching programs. You're going to find out that what I do is a little different than traditional coaching, right? They're all solving for knowledge, right? The real problem is execution. So when I set out to do this and create my program, I said we're going to solve for a different thing. There's no such thing as a knowledge gap in 2025 because of the internet. Anything you want to do, there's someone online doing it and making videos sharing how you could do it too, or at least selling you some course on how you could copy their program. So the problem is not lack of knowledge, it's lack of execution. The question is, will you do what that person did to get the results they got, right? And so when it came down to solving for execution, I realized there's a lot more complexity, right? So I can teach someone how to market to their database. I can teach someone how to make social media content and how they can use that to generate leads, right? The knowledge, though, misses out a number of the important things, right? It might give them the system. We can share by some of these things you can get by knowledge, right? The system, what is the structured approach? What is every step of the process you need to market to your database or to generate social media content? I can teach you that. You can watch a YouTube video, right? And, but it turns out that's not enough. You also probably need the templates, right? Which is if you want to start posting on social media, what do you post, right? If you want to start emailing your database every week, what does that email supposed to look like, right? So that's a gap that we needed to fill. Then it ends up that there's a bunch of tools you need to use. As real estate agents, you all know, we're not just in the business of helping people buy and sell houses. We're business owners. So we have to figure out how do you put the right tools in place in your business to solve those problems. And so we needed to add those as well. And then the last thing was support. Because even if you had the knowledge and the templates and the tools, if you're not in an environment where you can ask questions and get support and see other people winning, it's very hard to complete those tasks. And there's a lot of great ways you can get support. You can get it from coaches. You can join online communities. You can get it from your brokerage. You can plug into a network that like what Tom's put together here, where you have great people around you. So I don't have a proprietary system on any of this, but what's unique to our approach is combining all of it together. And what we found is when we put all four together, people execute at a much higher rate. So before I walk you through some specific examples of that formula, I want to go over what you need, what I know every agent has in their business. So I counted it up. I'm over 700 agents that I've interviewed, of varying degrees of success. I haven't coached all of them, but I've met them. But everything from brand new agents to people selling hundreds of homes every year. I am blessed to work with some of them. I have 3 agents that I coached do over $1 million of GCI last year. And I have some high volume businesses as well that we've coached. But there's a real unifying factor to successful agents. So what I found in all the agents I've interviewed, regardless of their market, regardless of their approach to business, the size of their team, or how much business they sold, successful agents always have 3 things. The first one is consistent outbound communication, right? On a regular basis, they are putting out communication to people that they already know, bringing value and reminding them they're in real estate. The second thing that they all have is a consistent inbound flow of new people, right? So they're always getting new people, generally through 1 or 2 methods, and we're going to talk about that next. But they're always just every single week, they're staying in front of people they know and they're meeting new people. And then the third one is that the best and successful agents have systems that let them do both of those things and still have a life. The one thing I love to share with agents is that the most successful agents I know have the best work-life balance. They are not, contrary to what a lot of people in our industry will tell you, they're not the ones grinding it out or working 100 hours a week. Sure, they're on call. Yes, they're there for their clients. Yes, they're busy, but they tend to have really good balance because they have good systems. So, um, so once you know you've got to have those 3 things in your business, here's how I sort of break that down for you. I teach this 3 strategy pyramid. The base of the pyramid is your database marketing, your sphere of influence. This is all the people who you already know. This is the outbound communication to them, right? This is a combination of traditional marketing, emails, calls, texts, mailers, all that stuff works. We're going to go over a bunch of it, plus social media, right? Most people's social media is an extension of their database, right? I also want all my agents to have an outbound lead strategy. So this is in the arena of meeting new people, right? One outbound lead strategy, which is proactive work you do every week to start new high intent relationships. This tend to be your traditional lead generation when we think about lead generation tactics, right? Open houses, expireds, for sale by owners, circle prospecting. These are active lead generation strategies that help you start new relationships. And then the third one is an inbound lead strategy. This is some type of passive lead generation that typically online, could be paid or organic, that will bring in new conversations to get started. And these are lower intent, lower quality than the second one. But why this 3 strategy pyramid is you end up with a nice balance. When you're busy with clients, right? Or life happens, which it happens to all of us, you can lean on your inbound lead strategy. We're doing something and leads are still coming in, even though I had a really busy week. And when you have a little less busy week, you can lean into that outbound lead strategy and be more proactive in creating opportunity for yourself, right? So my goal with everyone is that you get these 3 pieces of your business sorted out. So I always like to go through sort of a sample pyramid and then sort of build in how I can bring you guys value with this. This is where you're also going to get some free stuff that Tom probably told you you're going to get. So again, the pyramid for everyone is database. Database marketing is your sphere of influence is disproportionately where where consumers select real estate agents. Every year, the National Association of Realtors does a study. They ask consumers, how did you find your real estate agent? Every year, more or less over 50% find their real estate agent because either they knew that person or they were referred by someone who knew that person. That data is available from National Association of Realtors. We know it really well. I think I actually have the new report here. Hold on. Right, so let me share this with you. Switch screens here for a second. just so, and I always show this because I don't want you to take a trust me. None of you know me well enough to trust me yet, but the real data is here. So this is 2024, how sellers found their agent. This is a slide prepared by Keller Williams Research, but the source of this is the National Association of Realtors. Referred by, first category, 38% of sellers were referred by or are a friend, neighbor, or relative. Right? So 38% of sellers found their agent from database marketing. Either they know that agent or they were referred to that agent by someone who does, right? The next highest category, 28%, is past clients. So if you're even remotely good at maintaining relationships, right? Your past clients are part of your sphere of influence and you're staying on top of them, right? We've now got 66% there of all sellers found their agents just from relationship marketing, right? And you can see how quickly the list falls apart, right? The next best category from there goes down from 28% to 4. And you can see going back across the years, this is more or less the same every year. For buyers, it looks very similar. Let me see if I have that. This one, how buyers found their referrals, right? 40% of buyers plus 17% past clients, so 57% of buyers. Here's why that's great. If you don't love lead generation, you don't have to. You probably know enough people in your database that if you kept in touch with them well and at a high enough volume, you could hit your goal, right? So we're going to tackle that problem specifically in our time together, right? So let me come back to our presentation here. So you'll remember when it came to my formula for execution, I've got to give you a couple things. I've got to give you a system. I've got to give you templates. I've got to give you tools, and I've got to give you support, right? So for database marketing, which we just went over, we have the latest data, right? The number one source for buyers and sellers are people, either they know you or someone they know knows you and vouched for you, is database marketing. So I want everyone to solve. So we're going to solve this problem for all of you today really easily, right? Now, I teach a 72 touch calendar. Last time I was here with Tom, I think I went through the whole thing. I'm going to give it to you guys. I do 72 touches a year. It's one email, which sounds like a lot, but I will tell you it's very easy. It's one email every week. It is one call or text message every quarter, right? It's a birthday video text, and there's 2 mailers a year. And I'm going to give you the whole detailed system, but we don't have time to dig into that because the system is never the challenge. The bigger challenge is if I taught you the class, if you sat through my database marketing class, you'd go, Dan, I get it. I believe the data. I want to do it. I love your system. And then you'd go, but what do I email them and what do I text them? And you said I need to be on social media and what do I post, right? So again, what we've been working on is building out the answer to that in terms of the templates. So I'm going to pull this up. Hold on. Oh, me. One second. Here we go. Okay. So this is our latest content library, right? Now this, I'm going to drop this in the chat. This is my free gift to you. Now, it's because you guys are friends of Tom, so you'll thank him afterwards, right? And I will just ask you this. Don't tell anybody that you got it for free because you're on here because other people pay for it, right? But because you're friends of Tom, because I want to support you in achieving your goals, you guys are going to get it for free. So let me drop that in the chat real quick so we don't forget it. I'm going to walk you through this. So the link is in the chat and Tom's going to have it. He can email it out to you. In this link are 4 email templates, 4 text message scripts, 12 Instagram carousels, 12 Instagram reel scripts, right? We're going to talk about all this in detail, and 12 Instagram, Facebook post templates. So again, remember my motto is if I tell you what to do, but don't give you the tools you need to do it, you're not going to execute it. I've already proven that to myself. So I'm expecting that because you guys have this resource, you're going to go execute these strategies. Here's how you use this. The first video here, you can click this red play button, is me walking you through what you have here, right? And then all you do is scroll down. It's not a complicated course or anything like that. The first field you come up with is email templates. Now I've tried to put for you the key notes, right? Here are the things you need to check before you send these out. But essentially, you've got to have all your people in your database, ideally in a CRM or an email application, so you can send out a mass email. And there are 4 templates here. So I'm going to give you, I got some of the best stuff we're doing in the first half of the year. I just put in here as a sample for you. First one is this one. If you have some past clients or other people who own property, this is one of the best seller lead generation emails I send all year. Okay. It says, can I send you an updated home equity report? Right. And it gives some data over the past year, homes in our area continue to appreciate despite fewer transactions. On average, homes in our area have gained approximately 32,500 of equity, and a few of my clients have done even better. I've set aside time over the next few weeks to prepare these reports for interested clients. Let me know if you'd like to receive one. Now, of course, adjust it for your market. Whatever's going on where you are might be different, but more or less stick to the format, right? It is an open invitation for someone to reach out and say, hey, actually, I do want to know what my home is worth. Can you do that report for me, right? You will get somebody to reply for sure, right? If the other great one, so that's one strategy. Another great one here is just a news article. I'm really big on having my agents share news in a way where they're the expert, right? So this is a great template you can copy over and over again, or you can copy and paste it. But when you open this, again, I just want to show you, it's already pre-written. So you could open this, copy like I just did, and paste it into your CRM and email it to everybody, all set, right? I even write the subject line for you. But this one's about an article on what's going on in the market, right? And this is really good. Again, if you want to do this on your own with a different article, you can, but this format of using bullet points is really key because the consumer is now, you're synthesizing the information for them and they're developing a sense of trust that you're the expert, right? They want to ask you questions because you've made it easy for them. They don't have to read the article now. You gave them the bullet points. Another great one, if you want to get some investor business this year, is 2025 a good time to invest in real estate, right? And give some of the compelling reasons why people are investing in real estate right now, and a good conversation starter. And then the last one is just a fun one. So maybe you haven't talked to your database in a while, but this is just a fun conversation starter. The best place to see the strangest home for sale, and it talks about a Reddit subreddit called Zillow Gone Wild. You can click that link and they can see all kinds of crazy houses that are available for sale across the country. Email marketing is doing better than it's ever done if you're authentic. So this is a great way to do something fun and not talk about real estate. The other template I usually provide is a personal newsletter. They do extremely well on engagement. People want to know, what book did you read? What podcast did you listen to? Did you buy anything great? Those type of emails get really, really high engagement. And even though they don't sound like they translate to real estate business, they do. The other thing I said is quarterly text messages, right? That's a big way to work through your database. So I've given you 4 different scripts here that are great, proven conversation starters. For most of you, I would say go with this one. You see a trend, I put my suggestions is the first one in each category. This is the I have a goal script, right? And all you need to do here, you can copy this and paste it right into your text message, right? But you want to say, hey, Tom, I've got a goal to help 18 people buy or sell real estate this year. Who do you know that's considering a change and might need some help? I appreciate you. It might sound too good to be true, but shockingly, people want to help us. And when you give them the opportunity, they will connect you with people. So this text almost always gets some kind of lead opportunity, and it's really simple. We're not asking them if they want to buy or sell. We're asking, who do you know? Right? And people like that. Gives them opportunity to help two people. This is another great one. This one I would say I usually use this more into spring, right? Especially for you guys where you got a lot of snow. Right? Home projects come up in spring and summer, right? Once all the snow melts and everything. So I wanted to shoot you a quick text to remind you I've got great vendor relationships. If you have any upcoming home projects or need quotes, I'm happy to connect you with our go-to people, right? Not asking for anything, but reminding people very clearly that you're in real estate and that you're an expert and that they can call you and rely on you. This one also really good as a conversation starter. This one is a great way to turn your database into lead generation. Do you know any local business owners? Right? It says, hi client, I'm putting together my updated best of South Florida list that I share with the clients when they buy a home. What local business owners do you know that might appreciate some free promotion? Right? So again, we're reminding them I sell people houses, and when I do, I give them this list. And you're asking them, hey, who do you know that owns a business that we could help promote? And you're getting connected with local business owners in your community, which are more lead generation and networking opportunities. So these emails this text message does really well also. The last one that I threw in on text messages, usually I get a conversation when we get into database marketing and emails and everything is people go, well, I don't have a lot of emails or I don't have a lot of home addresses, right? And so this is my secret weapon. You can get almost any piece of information from someone if you text them this. Hi, Tom, I thought of you the other day. It seems too good to be true or too simple, but people love to be thought of, right? I thought of you the other day and I was going to email you something. What's the best email address? Or I was going to send you something. What's the best home address? Right? People love to be thought of. This is also a great way if you're trying to restart relationships. I thought of you the other day is my go-to phrase. So if you have people in your phone that you haven't talked to since you had another job 10 years ago, and you're like, I don't know if I should reach out to this person, I promise you, if you message them, hey, Michelle, I thought of you the other day. It's been so long since we worked together. Hope all is well. Let's catch up soon. I 9.9 out of 10 times that person will respond and go, oh my God, thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Right? People just love to be thought of. So use that one for all kinds of purposes. All right. So now you've got emails and text messages done. You've got options and ways to get in touch with your database. Now I want to move on to social media. Social media is the biggest one that agents tell me they want to work on. They know they should do, but they are unsure of what to do. So what we've done is given you here 12 topics. I'm going to skip around a little bit to just walk you through this, but you've got 12 topics here. I would use this as 12 weeks worth of content. So a full quarter worth of content here, right? There are 4 buyers, 4 sellers, and 4 investor topics. And for each of those topics, I give you 3 pieces of content. So the first one is a carousel post. Everyone familiar with Instagram carousel posts? Yes, the Instagram carousel post, if you're not familiar, it's a series of photos that kind of go together and you scroll through them and you get a message. And so we have those set up for these same topics. If you want to create them, here's what you do. First, you can watch this video where I'm going to walk you through step by step how to create them in Canva. Even if you're not tech savvy, promise me you're going to try this because I've tested it. And the least tech savvy person I know took her 30 minutes. So for sure, in less than 30 minutes, no matter where you are on the tech savvy spectrum, you can complete this. If you're comfortable with Canva, 10 minutes or less, you're done. But you can watch the video. I walk you through it step by step. You're going to click on this link here. It's going to open up a Canva template where I've put all of this social media content all in one place. So you can see, for example, the first one, buyers avoid these costly mistakes. And then it gives some tips. Shop in the off season, look for homes with price reductions, ask for seller concessions, and then DM me today to start your home search. So this goes on and on. There's 60 of these so you have them all done at once. In the video I walk you through, you can really easily change these out, change your color so that we make all your branding the same. And you can really easily take your picture and drop it in there, right? And make these all yourself and then download them, right? So these are all the templates you need for carousels. The next part is where people usually get stuck is, well, what do I write? Okay, great, Dan, I know I'm going to post this, but I got to write the caption underneath it, and I don't know what to write. And should I use hashtags or do I not use hashtags anymore? I'm not sure. Again, we've done all the work for you. So you click this little button here, and all you need to do is copy and paste this in with that template, right? Okay. Same thing, I'm sort of jumping ahead here. Same thing we have here for what we call tweet style posts. These are good on Instagram and Facebook, make you seem really smart. You click the template, you add your picture and your name, and then we've pre-written the captions here. So again, same themes, but written differently to capture people's attention. But this is a straight copy and paste operation, right? And then the last one, and this is the one where I get the most pushback, so I want you to really dial in here, is videos. Now, the first thing that I get is I hate myself on video. Anybody else feel that way? You don't like how you sound or how you look? Kathy's giving me an affirmative here. Thank you for your honesty, Kathy. Okay. Here's what I tell everyone. If you struggle to make video because you don't like how you look or sound on video, I have good news and bad news. Okay. The bad news is this. That is how you look and sound to all of the rest of us all the time. The good news is this. We love you. Okay. So even though you don't like how you look or sound, the rest of us love you exactly the way you're captured on video, which means that not only will we continue to love you, so will many other people. So you just have to, my advice is you just get over it and you internalize that people love you and that you can bring a lot of value to others through video. Now, once you've gotten through that, the next question I get is, video is really complicated. I don't know what to say. I stumble over my words and I don't know how to edit any videos. And so this is just much too complicated. Okay. Again, we're going to solve this for you. Okay. The first thing you're going to do is this. You're going to get this app here. I put a link for it. It's called the Captions app. Okay. This app now with the power of AI does what I used to pay a team of people to do, to create content, right? So this app is, I think it's $9 a month. You can cancel, you can download it once, film your videos and cancel it. This video right here is a step-by-step walkthrough where I share my phone screen with this app and show you exactly how to do it. Now, here's why I chose this app. The first thing it does is it has a built-in teleprompter, right? So you can put the text in the teleprompter and you set your phone up on a little tripod or lean it up against something, and you just read the teleprompter and you will sound like the smartest person in the real estate industry. Okay. All you gotta do is read the teleprompter and it looks like you're looking right into the camera. You can't mess it up. Right. And then once you've filmed the video with this app, again, watch the video and follow the instructions. It will edit it with AI. So in a matter of minutes from your phone, it will cut out any pauses you have. So if you start reading and then you pause and then regain your composure, it's going to cut that out for you. It's going to give you all kinds of cool graphics behind you. It's going to give you B-roll. It's going to be a professional quality edited video for $9 a month when you can make as many of them as you want. Okay. So here's how you do that. You download the app, you watch my tutorial. You come down here to this section where I've written the scripts for you for these same 12 things. So all you do is you click on one of these, and then you come in here and you're going to copy this and paste it into the teleprompter on the Captions app, and then record your video. All the hard work is done. Okay. Now it will take you a couple tries to get the teleprompter dialed in, right? It has a little speed setting, right? And so you might have to have a couple false starts until you adjust the speed to where it is good. But as far as this, you copy and paste the script, you read it into the camera, let the AI edit the video for you, and you're good to go. Okay. So how I would use this again is you build yourself a little schedule. That's what I put down here for you. Again, you've got 12 themes, each theme 1 week. Every Monday, do the tweet style post from Canva. Every Wednesday, post the reel. Every Friday, post the carousel, right? So you have 3 pieces of high quality real estate content every week. And then in between those, you put your personal posts, right? So that's the picture of you with your dog or going out to dinner or whatever you'd like to do and share on social media. Okay. And I give you a few other tips in there. But this is the key, is that when you have all this, and some of you, I've gotten a couple of head nods and I've gotten a couple of messages. Again, I want you to remember my theory, which is if I give you step-by-step instructions and the templates, and I write the emails and I tell you what to text, right? I'm lovingly painting you into a corner where you must do the thing to get the business. Okay? So we've got that. Now, I don't have a lot of time. I've given you this one. I'm going to give you guys, if it's okay with you, a couple other resources. So let me open this up because we talked about database, but if you'll remember our pyramid, we also were talking about inbound and outbound lead generation. Yes? So you might be saying, Dan, this is great, but I've already squeezed all the juice out of my database. Or Dan, this is great, but I don't know enough people. And those are separate, whole other conversations for us to have. We don't have the time for today. But if you say, Dan, I just need to get some people who I don't know. I need to talk to people. I need some leads now, which is usually what I hear. I'm going to give you 2 other strategies today. Now, your timing again is fantastic because Tom is good at this. I'm going to give you 2 strategies. Let me screen share here. Okay. I'm going to give you these 2 strategies and then a little instructions because you're going to get free updates. So these are a old version of 2 lead generation strategies that again we're modifying and actually are rolling out over the next week, and I'm going to start charging people for. Again, because you're friends with Tom's, I'm going to give you this version for free, and I'm going to give you the updated version for free next week when it comes out. But here's my 2 strategies that I would focus on right now if I needed to get some business. The first one is Facebook Marketplace ads. These are free ads on Facebook Marketplace. That this is one of the best source of buyer leads for agents in my coaching program. There's a number of different strategies here. Again, same thing. Go through, scroll down, watch the video where I teach how to do this, and then keep going. And I give you a bunch of ideas on how you can use this. I give you a sample ad that you can use. And then if you've never created a Facebook Marketplace ad before, you come all the way down here to the bottom and you click this. I actually will walk you through step by step where to click to post one of these ads. So if you've never done a Facebook Marketplace ad, come down here and go step by step with me, and you'll be able to create one. And I give you all the templates and everything you need for that. So everyone, I'm going to give you throw this in the chat right now. This Facebook Marketplace ad strategy really knows no boundaries. I initially thought it would be not as good as it's proven to be, if I'm quite honest. I've had agents get multi-million dollar buyers and contracts off of this. I've had people get investors who are repeat clients. There's really no limit to this, and it costs you nothing. Once you learn the strategy and watch the video, it just takes about 10, 15 minutes to post these ads on there. I just dropped that in the text. The other one I would use, which is getting a lot of great results, is expired listings. And one of the things we did differently with expired listings is this just comes from one of my one-on-one coaching clients, who was a big expired guy. We reversed his whole process. We started him, he used to call people and then text them and then eventually go door knock them. And we flipped his whole process around and started with dropping something off and then texting and then calling, and his conversion rate went through the roof. So this is an expired listing strategy. You can come in here and go through this. I walk you through what we're dropping off when we deliver this in this section. I give you a pre-written cover letter. You click the link. The letter's already written for you. All you need to do is put it on your letterhead. I give you a professional self-promotion piece. So it's a nice little, about me sort of thing. If you don't have one of those, you take my picture and name off and you put yours in, and that all goes in a manila envelope. And then we have some follow-up call and text messages there and some resources on how you can get people's phone numbers if you want to pursue expired listings. So this one, again, I'm going to drop this version of it in here, but this is getting a complete relaunch on Monday. So in order for you guys to get that, the updated version, here's what you got to do. I'm going to give you the link to my website, which has some other free resources on it right there. When you open my website, go to one of these downloads, the database marketing game plan or the no cost lead generation, click download and put your name and email in here. That's going to put you in my database. And when next week you see the emails announcing the updated Facebook Marketplace strategy or the updated expired strategy, just reply back to me and say, hey, I was in Tom's group. He told me I'd get this for free. And then I'll give you a discount code so you can download the updated version. Make sense? All right. How did I do, Tom? Tom's speechless.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so impressive. Speechless. Amazing. Really good content. Really appreciate it, Dan. I took some notes down here, some really good golden nuggets where it can even work in our business too, with some of those texts that you mentioned as well, because then we can make those connections to our clients and then pass them back to our partners too. So I think there's some really awesome ideas here.
Excellent. Any questions from you guys? Any other questions I can answer while I'm here? I think we said just till 1, but I've got a couple minutes at least. Okay.
I do.
Go ahead,
Will there
Nancy.
be a recording of this? I'm going to be driving, and so I didn't get to get all of the links, or like I clicked the links and favorited them, but will there be some sort of follow-up email or anything like that with the information?
Yep. Yeah, and I'll send an email out with the recording. I'll CC Dan on there, so his email will be on there as well.
Okay, perfect.
Tom, let me ask you a question just to plug you for a second. Are you doing much non-conventional? Are you seeing much non-conventional mortgage stuff get done in your market?
Like non-QM, DSCR, or
DSCR, business bank statement, anything like that?
we do offer it. We are doing some. Yeah, so DSCR is a big one. Also a 1099 program for self-employed people. And then depending on how that looks, maybe either a 12 or 24-month bank statement program for them too. So
Perfect.
got a couple different. Yep.
Here's what I'm going to plug for all of you who are still listening. And Tom's not paying me to do this. This is just solid advice. Have a call with Tom over the next week and ask him to explain to you these products that we just mentioned: DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, or non-QM, business bank statement, or 1099 loans. we're doing a lot of those with my agents because as the market moves to a buyer's market, as there are fewer people in the mode of buying, we have to get more creative. And there are a lot of buyers who don't think they can get a mortgage because of some of these considerations, right? There are a lot of people, a lot of small business owners who write off a lot of income on their taxes, who cannot qualify for a conventional mortgage, or might have some other reasons that they don't want to submit to a full underwriting. Those people, if you make them aware that you can get them qualified on some of these programs with Tom, will be very receptive to buying. They're far less concerned about interest rates. They're far less concerned about some of the terms, and they're waiting for someone to help them know that these options exist so that they can go buy a house. I just advised the client as we were coming into this time of year, and she was trying to decide, does she write off income on our taxes like she normally does, or do we not, so she can qualify for a conventional mortgage? By the time we sat down and did the math, what we found was, even though she would pay a higher interest rate for a business bank statement loan, she was saving so much on her tax write-offs that it still made sense for her to do that. So she thought, I'm a genius. I said, well, you can keep writing off everything and not pay income taxes on that, and I can get you into a house. And the difference in your payment is not that much money anyways, right? So you guys need to know about these programs, and Tom should be your conversation, and then take that stuff and go tell your database about it. Because I promise you, everyone on this call knows somebody who owns a business and doesn't think they can qualify for a mortgage. Okay.
Thank you again, Dan. Appreciate your time and giving us these gifts. Certainly appreciate that.
My pleasure. Go out there, go find some people to help. If I can be helpful to any of you at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Tom's going to give you my email address. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you like to be. But I love helping agents, and I'm here to help you guys do more business this year.